All right, let's talk about Hourglass powders and which shades I personally like as someone with fair skin, neutral undertones, and redness. I know the options can be a little overwhelming. By the way, say hi to Quill. If you don't, it's bad luck for 5 days. So starting with finishing powders. Finishing powders do not set your makeup. They change the finish of your makeup. And because Hourglass powders, some of them have a little bit of pigment, they're not going to be a one size fits all. In this year's palette, I have the lightest option. Both of the finishing powders work great for my skin tone and will for many others too. However, if you're not interested in a palette and you want a single, I do also like Ethereal Light. This is also probably best if you have a cool undertone. And my personal favorite is Diffused Light. Diffused Light is advertised as a warm pale yellow, and I really love this shade because it doesn't darken my foundation, but it does really lightly correct the purple and reddish tones from my rosacea that peek through my foundation. And you'll really see at the end when I pull out different lighting, you'll really see the effect of these powders on the skin. So please stick with me because I know it doesn't look like that much right now. Now, Hourglass bronzer. These are the lightest bronzers from last year's palette and this year's palette. And I do also have a permanent single, which is Nude Bronze Light. If I'm being completely honest, even though these all look very different when you swatch them, I actually don't see a huge difference once I apply them. I guess the biggest difference with the two that I'm using right now is the bronzer in the palette has a lot of sparkle, it's a lot glowier, and then my single Nude Bronze Light is just a lot more subtle in that sense, but I like both. Now, Hourglass blushes. I was actually a little disappointed by the blushes in this year's palette because I do think they look very similar to last year. Do I still like them? Yes. I also like that the pink is a little cooler, but I don't know, just my personal opinion. I wish there was something other than that vibrant peach. Finally, Hourglass highlighters. Okay, I do really love these. If you were to say to me, I can only get 2 products from Hourglass, I would say get a finishing powder and get a highlighter. This year's highlighter is definitely a lot more subtle than last year's, but I like that. I'm totally okay with that. And I know I'm yapping a lot, but I'm just giving you guys my thoughts about everything that I have because this shit ain't cheap. And I'm just hoping to help people decide on if they need a whole palette or if maybe they just want 1 or 2 single things. You know what I mean? But yeah, here's where the magic of these powders is really shown. It's when the light catches on your face, these just give off this ethereal glow. You look like a fucking angel. And I don't even know if the camera's doing this justice, but it looks like your skin is a filter.